Good afternoon to the viewers of the live stream. Whether you're watching live or after it saves as a live stream, welcome to another live stream. One second, please. I'm making a poll. How's everybody doing today? Got 55 viewers. Welcome. So, nothing new per se, but man, it's getting close. It's getting close. We're still consolidating, which this is bad and good. It's bad because it looks like it wants to pull away. But we talked about yesterday how if the top is going to form, it's got to go like this and then come right back down. And then it's kind of got to do something like this. So we still didn't have a pullback on the RSI, which again, it doesn't mean it's bearish. It actually means it's still strong. So it's I mean, this is typically a bull market move, I will admit. It is not bearish. So it's kind of like right here. It's what it looks like as the Moon Boys predicted. Moon Boys were correct. Question is, do we go from extreme fear to extreme greed in 2 months and not see any blowback? That's the question here. Do we go from extreme fear to extreme greed with no repercussions whatsoever? That is the question. So, what's a bear argument? There is none. No, the bear argument is we're getting some type of blow off for these shit coins. Doge is one of them. But you gotta just see the traffic cone. If Doge pushes again, man, it's not bearish. It's just not bearish. The goal is not to be bearish forever. The goal is to be bearish until it's safe to be bullish. So the first people who took the risk may have won. And if we come back down, they did not. Now the question is for the second tier people, what do we do? And the reality is, Doge is still back down here off the first capitulation. So if you're bullish, you do have an overbought RSI. I don't know if today's the best day, but she's waiting for you if you're bullish. So you really only missed the absolute elite of the elite if that's the bottom. If you don't want to take the risk and you can't fight the FOMO, Doge is still below. Yeah, it's technically back to where it was the first time the bottom was in. So when we had the mega rally in May, the bottom was in, but then the bottom fell out. Now we're back to the first bottom is in. So it's up to you if you want to buy in or not. The question is, what else is doing that? Solana is I'm not going to pretend that it's the same because it's not. But if you must FOMO in, it is in the same spot the first time the bottom was in. So technically you missed the bottom, as the saying goes. You only missed the absolute absolute. But most of those people were already in anyway. So if you must FOMO in, this is it. But I'm not gonna tell you to FOMO in because you're overbought and you're hitting resistance. And the problem is there's no in the middle. This is the bull market or this is nasty, 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 nasty trap. Because we're at that turning point where there's no going back. This is it. It's either bearish or it's not. And if it's bearish, then the bottom's not in yet. I know that sounds bizarre, and I understand. I am not trying to convince you, but can we see something like this? That's obviously not 40K, but now we're trying to see, can we go down and make a new low? Technically, it's still possible, but once it's no longer technically possible, there's no reason to talk about it anymore. So we may be at that moment right now. Again, because of the stock RSI. Stock RSI is overbought now. So if we do nothing this week, it's gonna go even higher. Which that's what happened back here. We went up, we did nothing, and then we rolled over. 5-day stock RSI, same thing. We just got another candle yesterday, and now it's the highest it's been. Oh, this is an interesting predicament. Interesting predicamente. The iBit ETF is almost over the high. You know, if people are saying you missed a low, some of these coins are still down here. It's not too late. If you're absolutely sure, Cardano is still below where it was when the bottom was in the first time. Not too late for you if you want to FOMO in. Not financial advice. But it's not looking good for 40K, I'll tell you that. It is not looking good for 40K. So how do we get a bearish scenario out of here? This is now yeah, this is coming up. It's going to be 69K soon. It's actually going to be 69K by September 1st. How do we get a bearish setup? We would have to do what we're doing, just kind of chop around. And then first week of September, come back below 69,000. That's the only way, gentlemen. For my fellow bears, we'd have to do this. We'd have to be in here, essentially, where we're just chopping around. And then something in the first 2 weeks of September, we go down below 69,000. And then that'll do it. That'll do it. But anything other than that doesn't really stand a chance against the Super Moon Boys. They're too strong right now. They are too strong. There's not even a crack in the armor. The RSI didn't even come down. Which could be bearish too. That's why I don't know. It's too risky if you're not in already until after the breakout comes. But the question is, can we do this? where we form one of these distribution tops and then come right back down. It's not, if it was impossible, I wouldn't keep looking at it. But it's still possible. This is a little bit of cope. I'm not going to say we're going down there, but all I need is to pull back below 69,000. That's it. We just need consolidation into September and then the reversal down. Now on the flip side, what if the bottom is in and I was just too bearish for just too long? Well, what typically happens? We can't really rely on it as heavily as we once did. But nah, it doesn't matter, man. You gotta get some type of pullback. Even even here, you saw daily RSI come back down, man. There's gonna be something that resets the RSI. There's gonna be something that resets the RSI. Cannot stay up here. So we'll get our answer very soon. Either this, the RSI resets, Moon Boys win, but then we can stop being bearish, or it is bearish and the bear market's not over yet. Because I don't want to be bearish if it's not bearish. But we're at the moment where it's like, this is the last time to be bearish. You can't really be bearish after this. You know? But is it possible that we do nothing this week and then the next 4 or 5 weeks are bearish? It's not only possible, it's mandatory for the bear market. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red weeks in a row. This one was 2 red weeks in a row, but I don't really see us going back to the low in 2 weeks. That's not really realistic. And then, of course, just sitting here doesn't necessarily mean it's bearish, but it would give us confirmation that it's not bearish anymore. So we really don't want to sit here past this week, maybe the end of August. But don't forget, the longer we sit here again, now we're going to reset the Bollinger Bands. So it's like, before you know it, another move is going to start. You know? I mean, it's still overheated for now, so we shouldn't expect that much, but you lower the time frame, 12 hours reset, 8 hour, well, I guess it's one of these is reset. I think it with this? I guess not. One of these was reset. I just don't know which one it was. Maybe it was this one. But yeah, I'm on YouTube scrolling and it's pretty split. Like there's a little bit of bears left and people still think it's a trap. So you're just gonna have to place your bet accordingly, you know? But the momentum is turning bullish on the macro scale. So you don't want to be bearish for much longer. That's for sure. Which luckily, another push up basically invalidates the 4-year bear market. And that's it. But there's always the but. Could we be here and it Just get a red candle out of nowhere. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, so I'm not going to make that an argument, but momentum is turning max bullish. Sorry, not max bullish. Bull run bullish. We see it. We don't want to ignore it. We see it. We don't want to ignore it. It looks like every market cycle you tag this blue moving average and then the next one you go through it. Yes, so September is a big month, man. Every bear market you hit the moving average and then you go through it. You hit the moving average and then you go through it. You hit the moving average. This one you just went right through it on the first try. So of course, if it's already August and we're through it, then that was it. Cannot deny the bullish momentum. You do have a cross on the stock RSI as well. Same thing, 2-month stock RSI cross. You break through the moving average. Some people say you missed the bottom. You may be right, but you still had another large rally to follow. So for the people calling alt season, it looks like the dominance is still sucking the alts. So it may not be alt season. It may be just a traditional pump. Looks like ETH made a lower high today as Bitcoin made a higher high. Lana made a lower high today. BNB made a lower high today. Total 2 is still at the breakout point. So we're just at that moment. Because again, the bottom was in right here and then we went down again. But now that you made a lower low, breaking out would confirm the bottom. So it's a tough, kind of like right here, a tough call. The same thing, it's just ginormous. What about total? Total's the same thing. So, I mean, I guess if you really take your emotions out of it, you just missed the absolute pinnacle of the bottom, but you didn't miss, like, it didn't go anywhere. You're back to where you were 3 months ago when everybody said it was super cycle again. So, if anything, you just have better confirmation, right? It was a super cycle back here as well. Then we went down. But what happened to 40K? That's the question. What happened to 40K, man? You said we were going to 40K. Yes, I did. I did. Is the realized price finally invalidated after 16 years? 16 years we went below the realized price. Even the very first bear market we went below. This will be the first time it doesn't happen. Guess there's a first time for everything. Yeah, what's interesting too is the short-term realized price usually crosses. No, that was an entire year later. Yeah, it's not gonna work. That sucks. That's actually the bottom. Yeah, but see, we made a lower high in 2022. I don't know if you can really compare these. Unless in some sick world we're here. There's no time for that. Yeah, there's no time for that. And the whole concept was 4-year cycle, which there's no time for that. There's no way. Hmm. So MSTR did push up today, which is definitely bullish. And the MSTR cutout is now saying that in September it's time to go down. So you know what? We're not gonna have to wait until the end of September, man. I think it's gonna be the first 2 weeks of September because if we're still bullish, then it's not going lower and the bear market's over. I missed it and I was wrong. But it says starting next week it's time to go down. I mean, I don't know. Do you give this any weight or you think it's rubbish? It's worth monitoring, that's for sure. It's worth monitoring. It's not perfect, but it did say it's time to go up. Now it says it's time to go down. So, do we get the final crash or did the final crash already happen and I was overly bearish? Find out next time on Who Wants to Be a Bear. Did I get overly bearish? This is also hitting the 382 retracement. My thing is this, right? I get the bull argument. I understand it. I see the momentum. I ignored it. But are we ignoring the fact that the RSI is on the ceiling and we're hitting the 382 with extreme greed? I don't know. I'm not a TA guy, so I can't give you the answer, but hold on. I can't get in here. I just can't. Can't do it. Extreme greed at the same level with the 382. I'd rather just let it go higher first and then the RSI comes back. We got 160 viewers. That's not good. We were pulling 250. Now we're down to 163. What happened? The excitement is gone already? We had 200 people. Where did everybody go? We got Geo Gems for 2 says stop looking at me, Swan. Geo Gems for 2 again says nothing. Are you accidentally sending $2 or there's no message attached? Buff Link for 3 says thoughts on Tom Lee's BMNR 10X. I appreciate the 3. Yeah, it's coming to life. It's coming to life. So I would assume if I were just going to blindly be a moon boy, which I have been in the past and I will be very shortly if we push up one more time, I would have to assume it's just going to be considered the next MSTR. That's like consensus of imaginary friends because I don't actually know what people are saying, but if I had to put my hat on, I would say if MSTR is going to be Bitcoin's whatever, then this should be Ethereum's whatever. So again, if you want to get in, I'm not saying not to, I'm not saying to, but you're in the same spot that you were in when everybody said it was already bullish. So even if you turned bullish here and you piled in, it's in the same spot. So you only missed the absolute low. But most people were already in, so you can just get in when they got in, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's where I'm at. One more push up, of course I missed the low, but the people that are telling me that were already in anyway. So I can get in today and get the same thing. That's not my issue though. My issue was I really thought we would go lower for more opportunity, which is unfortunate if it doesn't happen. But I would say there's a good chance it's just following Ethereum, which it's also hitting the 3A2 retracement. So either the top will form or it's probably going to be the MSTR of Ethereum, I would probably argue. And the market cap is only 14 billion. I don't know how accurate that is. So you'd probably get a bull market push to like 36 to 50 and then get the first retracement. And then you'll probably do this for a while. That would be the most likely outcome. I'm not going to count this because I don't know what this is, if this is part of the chart or not. If it is part of the chart, then $33 should be next. And that would be the first leg up of the bull market. Then you do this, and then we continue up into the bull run. So I would say if you're not in, you're not in just because of where it is. But if you don't care, which isn't, it's totally like in a bull market, FOMOing works sometimes. I'm not going to say it always works, but if it is a bull market already, then some of this stuff is just going to break. And we're not even at the 3A2. So $33 is technically on the table. But if I had to guess, I would imagine it's probably going to do a 10x. Yeah. It's just going to follow Ethereum. But it's going to do it faster because this shit is oversold. And these little doo-doo coins usually perform better. I appreciate the 3. But yeah, I would probably say it's probably a 10x, maybe. Well, now that it's at $20, I don't know. It might be a 5x, but still could be a 10x potentially. It's just like these doo-doo stocks from Grayscale. There's a Doge. Well, this is an ETF, but I feel like the trusts could be a good gamble because there's a difference between a trust and an ETF. I think the trusts are much more volatile. So I don't know anything about Tau, but if I were bullish on Tau, I would probably buy this instead because there's always a chance it does one of these stupid pumps like the Bitcoin Cash one did, where it just shot up 70x. Even though Bitcoin Cash did shit, it still did a 60x. So BMNR is probably going to do the same thing where it's oversold. And once we go up, then it should go up like 10x, yeah. Gems for 2 says, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. K Curse for 2 says, can we take a look at what if? I appreciate the 2. What if? What if? On whatever this is, Robinhood chain. Robinhood chain. What if? What if? What if? I would say she is technically bullish above 40. The problem is it's a 50% correction from here. So if you're already in, you're in. But as long as you're above 44, I would argue consolidation and up. Once you lose 44, down we go. 11. You can zoom in further. And you can take your fib from this low up to the high. And you can see you're sitting on the 618 retracement. So as long as we're above 81, we may be bullish. I do appreciate the 2. We got off leash for 10 says, I started trading last month and have never been interested in crypto until I started watching your videos. If this is the bull move and I start investing in crypto, you're my guide. I appreciate the 10. I appreciate the 10. But I do have the humility to admit I'm probably not the best guide. So if you're new to crypto, I'm probably the last person you want to ask or look at. For the reason being that if the bull market has truly started, I clearly missed the low. But if the bull market truly started, then it's time to be a meathead and start shouting Doge to $5. Why? Because that's what's going to boost the channel. So I appreciate the 10. I would probably put me on like the 3rd or 4th tab if you're looking for information. I wouldn't be my first choice, I would say. Now, if we go back down again, I would put myself at the number 1 option because everybody just told me to buy in. So right now, I would put me in the 3rd or 4th tab. I'd probably put, if you could find 2 or 3 people that you like that called the low, you can put them ahead of me, but I really wouldn't give myself as a guide. But I appreciate the 10, my friend. It does help a lot in times of despair. It does help a lot in times of despair. YJ43 says, look at Cashapp. I believe it's going to billions. I appreciate the 3. Cashapp, welcome to the Cashapp. Oh, I forgot about GameStop on Ethereum. It's not too late to get in. Why pile in? GameStop on Ethereum. Cashapp, Cash Cow. Yeah, she's pushing. She's pushing. She held our box. She's pushing. There's nowhere left to go but the prior all-time high and then 25 cents. So you got a move from the low to the high, 382 hit, bullish. So I would say watch for 25. That would be the completed move from this high down to the low. Doesn't mean that the top is in. It just means that the move is complete from here. Now, if it's a super cycle, 50 cents is on the table, of course. 50 cents would be on the table. Now, what to watch since you're already in? Same thing as always. We take the fib from the low up to the high. And we say, as long as we're above 15, we're bullish. As long as we're above 15, we are bullish. Yeah. As long as we're above 1690, 17, basically, we're bullish. So I would say if you're in, you're in. As long as it's above 15 cents, it's probably going to continue to move higher. There's no ceiling if it's a bull market. But again, I still believe personally there's always that puncher's chance. The 4-year cycle's not broken. Does that mean I'm going to be right? No. Could I be wrong? Yes. If it's right, sellers will dump this thing and then you'll probably consolidate. But it's probably, the bottom is probably in already on this. So congratulations to whoever caught this. Even if there's another low for Bitcoin, it's probably not going to come back down here. But nevertheless, I would say above 14.9 is bullish. Let it ride. I appreciate the 2, 3, sorry. You and Cowan are my favorite YouTubers. Yeah, I'm definitely disappointed if the 4-year cycle's broken, just because it's, I mean, maybe it's just shifted to the left, but we already tried that in 2024 where the top was supposed to be here. So it would definitely be disappointing if it's broken. But I'll see, we'll see what happens. I didn't think we would get this high. We got everything we asked for. It just went way higher than I thought it would. So I'm kind of like, damn, man, this doesn't even seem possible now. The only way it would be possible is we go down as fast as we went up. But that's not really something that's common. It happened at the top, yes. So we know it's possible, but how likely is that? You want to look at the probability. Here we went up very quickly. Sorry. Here we went up very quickly. And then we went down just as fast. So it's not impossible, especially because we are at extreme greed. So everybody just piled in. Even I started looking at shit. I'm like, oh, what do I do if the bottom is in? And then I said, I can't do anything anyway. My Coinbase account is locked by a thing and it's not charged. So I'm open to it. I'm open to the bull market. Obviously, I'd be wrong if it started, but I still think this is possible. But I'm not gonna say this as we go higher. This is it for me. And I'm pretty sure this is it for anybody who's bearish. Which that's just how it goes. There's always 3 types of YouTubers. There's people that are bullish all the time. There's people that are bearish all the time. And then there's people that, well, I guess there would be 4 types of YouTubers. There's people who are always bullish, people who are always bearish, people who turn bullish when it's safe to do so. Those were people who also turn bearish when it's safe to do so. And then you have the people that actually get everything right. So I'm the kind of person that will turn bullish when it's safe to do so, which means I missed the bottom. But I also missed the top, which is obviously what the trolls say. But the reality is, you're going to get trolled regardless if you're right or not. So that's why it doesn't mean anything to me. But it's not just me. Every YouTuber gets trolled. So it's just a part of the game. But what I'm trying to say is, for the people that don't want to miss the boat, per se, I mean, if you were going to buy Bitcoin, then maybe you might have. But everything else, even Ethereum, I mean, yeah, it's a little higher than up here, but if you take your emotions out of it, people were saying it's time to get in now. So if you look at it from this perspective, it's like it's the same thing as buying in here. It's just there was another low, but we're right back to that point. Now the thing for me is I'm just going to respect the 4-year cycle until it doesn't work anymore. And the good news is we'll know in 30 days if it doesn't work anymore. Maybe it's less than that. But we can't still be here in 30 days. We have to be down. So if it's anything but down, then I know it's broken. But we're at that moment, I think similar to this one, where we just reversed back up. We're also at that same moment where it turned bullish. So people never turned bullish. Last time we were the people that just never turned bearish, and it worked out fine, which normally the bullish people always win anyway. That's why I'm not going to be bearish forever, because I know if you're bullish, you usually end up winning. But this was the time to turn bullish if you were still bearish. So if this is the bull market, this is where we are. So instead of turning bullish here, I'm going to wait. Which, yeah, I clearly missed the low, but what I'm trying to tell you guys is if it's not alt season and it's a regular bull market, in this area, all of the doo-doo coins are going to go to 0 again. It happens every time. Well, I don't know what happened back here. Well, we can check, actually. What happened to Litecoin? I believe Litecoin had a spike and then it did nothing. Yeah. See? So it's like you missed the bottom, yes, but then nothing happened. So if you're bullish right now, are you prepared for this? Just nothing. It's happened every single time. Now, obviously, if the 4-year cycle is broken, I can't tell you that this is guaranteed to happen. Maybe it is different this time, with just entirely different. Maybe it is. The problem is you would need the dominance to go down. Or maybe there's another chart that I'm not looking at. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's not the dominance anymore, but it's the thing is, how many coins are beating Bitcoin that didn't bleed out like this? You know? That's the question. It's a handful of them. It's like Solana and Ethereum. BNB's up 34% off the low. Bitcoin's up 37% off the low. Solana's up 70% off the low. Yeah, so outside of Solana and Ethereum, coins that didn't get absolutely decimated, are they beating Bitcoin? I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't checked. I don't really look at these coins anymore. I mean, we have our coins that we look at, but I'm not in the loop for like all the coins. Only the shit that we watch, like Superman or whatever this is called. You know, like even this, Superman 500, SPX 500. You might have missed the absolute bottom, but still sitting here. My thing for me that I'm watching is, can we still get a reversal back down? You have the dominoes. In other words, the dominoes are set. The question is, does the market want to push them, or does the market say, no, it's time to go up? And I know it's very annoying and repetitive, but there's only so much time left if the bear market's going to be continuing. But the dominoes are there. There is $10 billion at 67K. So if the 4-year cycle is not over, we should just go straight to 67,000 in the next 2 weeks. Now, that's a if. That's why I'm not telling you to listen to me, but it's there. Just like all the shorts were up here, now they're all dead. But in a bull market, at some point, the longs will always be there. So you don't want to be psyoped into missing the bull market. That's why we're at that moment where I'm about to turn bullish once we break the 4-year cycle indefinitely. Just like when we broke the 4-year cycle at the top, or the top rather. In October, I wasn't shouting we were going to go down. In November, I shouted we were going to go down, and we went down. Just like everyone else who shouted we were going to go down. I'm not going to shout we're bearish all the way up to 200,000. I'm going to wait another month, and then I'm going to join the bull crew. Which everybody loves the bull market. It's the best time of the year. You get ad revenue, new subscribers. My channel has grown. So this is how I know it doesn't mean anything. This is the first time my channel is growing since the bear market started. So even though I was looking for lower prices, my channel still increased. Even though all bear market, we were calling for the lower moves and they came, and my subscribers still went down. So it's just pure hype, and I'm going to cash in on the hype just like I do every year. But this time around, I'm not putting my hype into Dex Screener. I'm just going to invest it smartly. Because it's kind of sad. I actually have my 2025 paycheck because YouTube gives you a pay stub, like one pay stub for the whole year. And I'm like, dude, where did all the money go? And I'm not doing that anymore. I'm tired of saying that to myself. So it's not even this cycle. It's just from now on. I'm just going to be smarter with my money because I'm too old to just keep gambling like this and have nothing to show for it. That's the difference between me and other people. People have the money to gamble. I don't anymore. So once we're indefinitely bullish and I have no reason to be bearish anymore, I'm probably going to include Doge and MSTR again. You know? I'm going to get on the wagon, don't worry. I'm just not. I'll be honest, my stomach is still telling me, man, is it still possible? It's like every time we get to this euphoria, it's like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Like at some point it's gonna be real. But are we there? I don't know. I don't like, I don't know if we're there yet. But there's nothing left to know. It's either yes or no. Right now, I still think no, but in 3 weeks it might be yes. But by the time, because to be fair, this does look the exact same. You got this double bottom here. So for all we know, we do this exact thing. You never see the same thing twice in a row though. But it's almost a replica. So by the time we get here, nobody's even going to remember. Only the people that troll everybody. But there's a lot of people coming back now. So it's like, yeah, truly, it's either the top or it's actually the bull market because there's people that haven't been here in years coming back now. And it's like that for other people's channels too. So it'll definitely suck for like two or 3 months, but then once the new year comes around, I'd be like, all right, new year, new me. No, I'm just kidding. But it's easier to make content in a bull market too, because you could just start shouting rubbish, even if it's not true, nobody cares. In the bear market, if you shout rubbish, it's the pitchforks come out. We got a Opercolium audio for 5. Where can we see Doge heading to? New all-time high? If not, what are some numbers we can expect to see Doge moving towards if bullish? I appreciate the 5, Mr. Audio. Audio check. So, Doge. I guess I should get back on the Doge train, right? Yeah, I'll get back on the Doge wagon. Where is it? Where is that little bitch? Right? Dude, I'm not gonna get in Doge, but I'm gonna cover Doge. I mean, it's still doing the same thing. See, I'm gonna be honest, man. You gotta be careful. Listen, I'm telling you the historical data. If it's wrong, it's wrong. You just gotta be careful. Because in every bear market, there's a nasty rally, but then it comes all the way back down again. So I'm not going to pretend to know where we're going because we're doing something new if the bottom is in. So we'll have to take it for what it is. But in the other 2 bear markets, Doge had these types of spikes, and then it came right back down. So I can't even guarantee that the bottom is in, even if the bull market started, because in 2018, the bottom wasn't in until 2 years later. In 24, or last time, the bottom was in, but then you had a big spike, and then we came back down again. So I can't even confidently tell you that even if Bitcoin blasts higher from here, that Doge won't do something like this, where it just sits here. But if we just throw all that out the window and we're going back to 2024 status, where we just start shouting to the moon, which I'm okay with that. I'm ready to do that. Then I would argue once 11 cents breaks, you should be in the clear. I would imagine taking this would invalidate 5 cents. So I was looking for 5 cents. We came down to 6.8 cents. I almost had it. The uptrend is holding, just like XRP did. So I think once we're confirmed 4-year cycle's dead, the hopium that I'm going to start selling, I already told you guys yesterday. If you're a Doge Moon Boy, I got some hopium to sell you. If we look at XRP from the last market cycle, we can see that it held a macro uptrend after making a lower high in the prior market cycle. That's exactly what Doge is doing. Almost to the T. So, I mean, is it not? I can't even tell which one I'm looking at. Which one's Dogecoin? I'm not even exaggerating. Dude, what's the difference? I can't tell the difference. So, you'd probably, if we put on our Moon Boy caps, you could do something like this until it's old season, and then the new high comes in. Dude, that's some legitimate hopium, man. I might even take a sip of the hopium juice. That would be my propaganda. So, I think Doge could take the high again. If the bottom is truly in, I don't see a reason why Doge wouldn't take the high. Because it's only 500%, 600%. So that would be my target, new all-time high. When? Well, again, if the bottom is in, that I missed the low, and I'm not going to be able to accurately predict because I missed the low, so I can't assume the 4-year cycle will repeat. But if the 4-year cycle will repeat and it's just shifted a little bit, we wouldn't see that Doge pump until probably next year, like a year from today around, you know? So that's what I would say. I'm waiting to see if we actually break out here, or if this is just the biggest trap in history, which I think it would be. If this is actually a trap, I'm ready to call it the biggest trap in history. Because there's no time left, right? I mean, I'm not making up the rules. Maybe the bottom's in December this time. Then there's still plenty of time left. The only reason why it's getting scary is because usually the bottom is a year later. But if it's different, even then it would still be different this time. If the bottom's out here, that wouldn't even matter to me because I would it took too long. But that's what I would say for Doge. I would say we're still below the 236. This would be considered accumulation. The bull market is confirmed for Doge once you clear the 382. So you could be bullish if you want. I'm not saying you're wrong. This would be the accumulation, and then when it's all season, you'll get the rally. Right? Something similar probably happened back here, where you got accumulated at the 382, bada bing, bada boom. When it's time to go bullish, it's time to go up. Could Doge just go right to the high like this? I mean, that's how it feels. That's how bullish it feels, but that's probably not likely. So I would say bearish below 10.9. Breaking 10.9 probably confirms the bottom. And then the bull market is in full swing once you break 14.5. That's what I would say. But I do appreciate the 5 from Mr. Audio. Investors will be viewing the government bond buybacks in the same way as QE. I don't know. I'm not an economist, but isn't that bad when they inject money into the economy? Doesn't that mean there's something wrong? Like why would they I don't even know what that even means, but why are they doing that? Doesn't that mean they see something happening that's not good? Yeah, I saw Mara today. Mara's getting hit too, but I don't know if Mara's a Bitcoin stock anymore. I think it's an AI stock now. I'm not sure. Coinbase got not hit, but they sold it down again. So I look at Coinbase and an MSTR, and I'm like, I don't know, man. What are they doing here? It's not like last time. Last time they both shot up with Bitcoin. Now they're not. I mean, I'm not going to say they're not moving, but they're underperforming. And then I have this chart for MSTR that says it's time to go down once August ends. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it's been pretty accurate up until this point. And it even said it was time to go up. And I said to myself, I guess we're not going up this time. And it went up after I said that. I didn't say it to you guys, I said it to myself. So I'm like, are we going to go down now? Or is the bear market over? I can't tell you because it's momentum says bullish, the 4-year says bearish. So what do you do? Do you trust the momentum? I personally, I'm a momentum guy, but last time the momentum said we were going down and we went up anyway up here. You had every reason to be bearish up here and we still went up anyway. That's why it's like you have every reason to be bullish here. And then I say to myself, does that mean that the next bear market is going to be 40%? That's what's really throwing me off. Are we just going to have that's it for the bear markets? They're done? There's no more bear market. 50% correction is nothing. %50 correction, they said. That's the new bear market. The 4-year only happened because of the business cycle. It's not actually based on anything. I mean, right now, I can't really argue with you because it's playing out, but it's happened every single time until now. So if that's how it is, that's how it is. The bear markets are coming to the dollar and all the paper currencies. In 2018 2.0. 2018 was bullish and sideways until the midterms too. Well, we'd have to get rejected from here, which is it's the last resistance remaining. Right? We got rejected in 2022. We got rejected in 2018. It's the last resistance before the bull market. Only in crypto degen land, 50% is nothing. No, that's not even true anymore. The stock market pulls back 50% now. Most of these AI stocks pulled back like 30%. No? Yeah, so it's like now stocks are more volatile than Bitcoin almost. Right? I don't know. SanDisk had a bigger bear market than Bitcoin did. SanDisk. Check out the spike on BTCC. There's nothing here. Look at the corn futures. It's harbinger of bad things. Trump said staff about Iran again. I don't follow the news, man. If the bull market started, the bull market started. Because to be fair, like, listen, let's call it how it is. The people that called the bottom aren't watching the news either. They called the bottom when it was coming. The news is just for the people to gobble up. There's always news. But I'm not in a position to say it doesn't matter. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I think you could say the news is the thing that moves it, but the move is coming either way. So if it's a bear market still, the news is coming. They're loading it up right now. I just don't know what it is, but I don't have to know what it is because if it's bullish, then it's bullish. But if it's still a bear market, which is where we're at, this is the last stand for the bear market. We must get rejected from here. Now, what's interesting is in the bear market, you do get a reversal the very next candle, which is required for the bear market to live on. So the next candle has to be red. But the problem is this is a big candle, man. That's why it's so tough to swallow. It's like a take your pill bear candle. Take your pill, bear. Take your pill, Mr. Bear. It's a big candle, man. That's tough to swallow. Did you see that Bitcoin follows Uber? Did Uber go up again? Yeah, it's about to. There's a lot of stocks that are tied. I mean, I wouldn't say they're tied to Bitcoin, but they all move together. Netflix is another one. Bitcoin has nothing to do with Netflix, but every time every time Bitcoin goes up, Netflix goes up, and vice versa. So I wonder if Netflix is going to pump now. What about Meta? Is Meta going up? Oh, Meta's not moving either. Meta usually bottoms with Bitcoin. Now, it's also worth pointing out that the S&P is usually pumping with Bitcoin too. So it's different this time, or the S&P is about to catch up. Or, ready? You ready? This is the bear cope. Ultimate bear cope here. We're right here. Where we got the big ass spike to the upside, then the liquidation. The stock market made one more push up, and then we collapsed. Kind of like this shenanigans. But it's bear cope. So I'm not going to be bearish for much longer. I'm not going to be bearish forever. We'd have to see this, essentially. Oh, it's not enough time for that. We'd have to already be in there. Oh, we'd have to already be in there. It'd have to be like this. Or we're here. Well, congratulations to the Moon Boys. Gotta give you credit. Gotta give you props. And we're gonna get a daily red dot soon, too. So, props to the Moon Boys. Meta has a $1.4 trillion lawsuit. Yeah, but when it's time to go up, they'll beat the lawsuit. That's how it always is. The bad news is always coming out, and then the price reverses. So to make the bear argument, I would say the good news they just used it. They used it up. Just like at the top back here, they announced the thing, the treasury. Remember the crypto reserve? And it was like, holy shit. And then we went right back down. The problem is, man, you got the momentum behind you here. I'm not sitting here trying to disprove the bullish momentum. I see it. It's tough. May have missed it. It's not about missing it, though. It's about the significantly lower prices would always be beneficial. And a 50% bear market wasn't really an extreme, you know? Like the other bear markets were extremes. And when we were down here, it was fucking scary. When we were down here, it was a little scary. I don't feel like this was scary. I think it was just people were bearish or bullish. They really, even though the fear and greed was at fear, I feel like it wasn't scary. Like when we were down here, even me, and I'm Joe Nobody, but even I was thinking that this wasn't gonna go any lower. People were bullish and bearish. When we were at the bottom and the other two, it was like, it wasn't that we thought it was going lower. It was like, holy shit, what just happened? When we were here, it was like, holy shit, what just happened? It was just like, it turned bullish immediately. The very first day, the fucking bottom was in. The bottom was in. That's what threw me off this time around. Like, it wasn't ever scary. It was just, it was only a 50% correction. Even this one, it was like, yo, what just happened? Holy shit. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like it was never really scary. It was just meh. That's why if the bear market's not done, that would be the most disgusting trap in history, because that would be scary. Holy shit. Holy shit, everybody just got in. I'm not trying to be a perma bear. I'm not. I'm just saying, until it's broken, it's possible, and still technically possible. Technically and what happens are two different things. Technically, I could go run a marathon. That doesn't mean I'm going to. Well, I can't physically run one. My legs would give out. But I guess if I had to take 40 hours or whatever, whatever it is, I could do it. So we are in the summer of 2021. The move back up going to be quick and then drop back to 38K. Yeah, but even that would be good for the perma bears. So this, could you imagine the top is in November? And then you get the 2008 crash next year? Shit, I'll take that. Might as well if the 4-year cycle's broken. Why not? Just look at the cross between 100 and the 50. You'll see if the bull market started. Yeah, a lot of the moving averages crossed. Which, by the way, that's what made me like cling on a little bit to the bear cope. Because there's same exact moving averages that crossed on the FTX collapse just cross right now. But in the other bear markets, when they crossed, we went up. We already went up. So it's like, where are we? In 2015, we went up and then we crashed again. In 2019, we just went up. In 2022, we went up and then crashed again. So what's happening here, 2019 or 2022? In 2019, we were through the moving average. In 2015, we got stuck at the moving average. We're in the same exact spot. See how we were nowhere near the moving average? But in 2019, we were through it. Whatever year this is, we were stuck. And it's like, again, I fully understand the bullish argument. I do. I'm not even trying to negate it. But the bearish argument is now going to be the same, where if we don't get through this, this is going to roll over again. So for someone like me, I can't really do anything here. I just have to wait for it to break. Because the way Cashapp is still going, this reminds me of Pepe when it pumped to 1 billion. It could be, man. I still don't understand the Robinhood chain, but same thing with the tether dominance. We can't stay oversold like this forever unless we go straight up. Then we can. The way Cashapp is pumping, you think a bull run definitely started. Yeah, but at the same time, some of these coins never even went down because they already were bearish. But I can't say that I know because I don't know what this is. It's like a casino. When a new casino opens, it's always booming. But I imagine once we see stuff like GameStop, you know, which ETH GameStop is starting to push now. And I was looking at FWOG last night, and every time FWOG pumps, yeah, I'm not buying this garbage, man. How do you know if this is going to go up or not? You just don't. You just don't know. You know, like APU would be something that I like. It's like, dude, it's $3,000 was $100,000. But how do I know it's not just gonna go like this and wither away to dust? I don't know. That's my problem. I can't gamble anymore. The days are behind me. The days are behind me. Cashapp is the original name for Robinhood. Vlad is shilling it. It's official Robinhood coin. Who's Vlad? Is that the owner of Robinhood? So how do you get on Robinhood? You just buy Ethereum and you send it to where? Is Robinhood like a chain? Yeah, wow, nice move. So what are the new Ethereum memes? Asteroid Shiba? Still bearish. Oh, this thing is still down here? Remember this coin? Wasn't the Vitalik Buterin shilling this coin? The 50x back to the high. How do you know it's going to get back there? You think the 4-year cycle people are going to get in October and the market makers will drop it into December? So now you're bearish again? What's your plan here? Wow, this This thing totally undid the whole move down. That's nuts. For me to scream 40K again, we just have to get below the short-term realized price. That's my number to where I say, holy shit, it's about to happen. Until we fall below that, I can't really say anything. But we shouldn't get back down there if it's a bull market. I think in 2019 we just went. Yeah, once we broke it, that was it. We just went. Same exact candle too. Just a big ass candle right through it. In 2023 we fell back below it, but that wasn't for another month. Yeah, this is it, gentlemen. 4-year cycle broken after 16 years. 16 coming on 17. My plan was 103K. No, I'm saying you said that we're going to go down in December, which is 2 months away. Actually, it's 3 months away. Do you think we're going to go up to 100K by December and then come right back down? So you don't think that a new cycle started? I think most people who are bullish think the new cycle started. Four-year cycle's not broken. We can't say that yet. We're at the last moment of it holding. Because, let's be honest, I think it's just like being fat, right? There's nothing wrong with being wrong. You just have to be able to accept when you're wrong. There's nothing wrong with being fat, but you can't stay fat. So obviously there's something wrong with calling for lower prices and then it doesn't happen. But if you finally accept it's not coming and then we go higher, then it is what it is. The problem is being bearish all the way up. We're now at the moment where I still think it could be bearish here. I am not convinced. But I'm also at that moment where any higher than this, and there's nothing on the chart that says it's bearish. There's not one single thing that says we're still bearish once we go through here. So I would have to say once we pass through here, okay, it was a good try. We did much better this bear market than the others, but still not perfect. Sell Pepe for a 10x. I'm thinking we haven't finished the cycle. Right, I'm saying you think we're going to hit 100K by December and then go back down. So you're looking for this, essentially. I understand your point. I wouldn't even be mad at that. I mean, if that ended up happening, I probably wouldn't even get in. I would just let it come back down. But that would really break. Yeah, but I would still buy stocks. The stock market has to do something. It is going to do something. I forgot to tell you guys. We're getting blue bars again on the stock market. Doesn't mean it's bearish. I'm just saying it's going to do something. But I just don't know where. Where were the blue bars? Maybe the Nasdaq. Oh no, yeah, wait. I thought we had blue bars again. Maybe not. Yeah, this thing, dude, this thing. Whoa, dude, you wanna hear Super Moon Boy? This thing is saying on the 12-month time frame the bull market didn't start yet. Holy shit. What are they cooking up on the stock market? This thing says the bull market didn't start yet. Yeah, look. Look, I'm not even trying to bullshit you. I don't understand. Am I still living in 2017? Like, is everything overvalued or is it undervalued? I don't understand. How is the RSI being as high as it is not over, like, it's not going to have a correction? It's just going to keep going? This thing says we didn't even start the bull market yet, which is why if there's a flash crash, that's it. There's going to be a disgusting bull run. We've been in the same bull market since August of 2023. Every time this thing pivots, there's a nasty bull run. Where it's still going down, you know? So it's like, are we gonna get the flash correction and then start a new bull run? I think so, man. I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna switch team. I think I'm switching teams anyway. I'm not even mad, honestly. This thing says we've been in the same bull run since August of 2023, and the next bull run is gonna start. The question is, are we gonna get that correction down or not? Which the correction down without Bitcoin breaking 80K will actually send it down to the low. And it could also be like 2015 where there was a correction on SPY. It was in here somewhere. You can't even see it. There was a correction on SPY, but Bitcoin went up anyway. Maybe that's where we're at. But this thing says the new bull market's about to start in the next 4 months. I just can't understand how everything is so overvalued and the bull market didn't start yet. Either that or it's gonna be a no, there's no such thing as a crash. It only goes up. So there's probably a little correction and then we go up. Same thing with this. You see how in July of 2023 we went vertical? Yeah, look. It just we never flipped up. We've been in the same bull run since August of 2023. So maybe in the next 3 to 4 years, QQQ's at 1200, which is why I spent the whole summer asking you guys if the AI bubble popped, which YouTube says it did, but I don't know if it did. I feel like it's so far behind. Like whenever I talk to it, it's still retarded. I have to explain everything to it. Yeah, this is saying big move, monster move. This thing says monster move. This moving average says the bottom is in. Too little, too late. But let's see if it breaks. Let's see if it breaks. Let's see if it breaks. Can we still get that crash? Yeah, it's the BBWP is saying the move could be done. Could be done. Man, we really went straight up out of there. We go up forever. Wouldn't 100K by October be nuts? Yeah, but I think if we're at 100K in October, I wouldn't even something would be wrong, you know? Like you can just tell something would be wrong. You'd probably be setting up for this, which is where it's like I already accept it. If I miss the bottom of a new 4-year cycle, there will be a chance to get in. If there's no chance to get in, then why can't we just go up like this and then it's bearish again? You know, something will be broken. Something would be broken. I just can't fathom this doesn't come down, man. You know, I think we're in here. It's just upside down, where it takes a little while to cool off. And once you got the green dot, hold on, I'm spitting again. Once you got the green dot, the reversal came, and we're close to getting a red dot. We might just sit here for another couple of days, but I think that could be where we're at for a bear cope, where the RSI was just oversold for a week and a half, and then once you got the green dot, that's where the reversal was. Now we're sitting up here for almost a week already. Holy crap. August 19th. Today's the 24th. Once we get the red dot, assuming it's not a bull market, right? Obviously, if we're higher, I have to say I wasted your time, blah, blah, blah. But if I didn't waste your time and this red dot prints and we just go straight down, holy shit, dude. Could you imagine? I think this is the first time where the most people ever called the bottom. But I also don't know because I was only here for one market cycle on YouTube. But I remember in 2018, everybody was saying that the bottom was in here. I'm not saying everybody said the bottom was in here because that's not true, but I think the most people called the bottom here out of all the market cycles. Accurately, was what I meant to say. Accurately called the bottom. Yeah, we're at an interesting time. Interesting time. Are we going to get a red dot on Ethereum? No red dot on Solana. We did get a green dot on the DXY on the smaller time frames. The last time that happened was January and December, so it's not that common. Doesn't mean we're bearish, right? We went up in July last year, but the DXY could start going up. Maybe we have to wait for the daily dot. You know what I find interesting still too, man? Tether never went up. It still never rallied. In the other two bull markets, Tether pumped. So I look at this and I say, what are they doing? What are they doing differently this time? Right? Now, I'm going to give it the respect it demands because maybe I'm wrong and the bottom is in. But it pumped in 2023. It pumped in 2018 at the bottom. Why is it not pumping? Maybe it's about to. But Tether is not going up right now. Richard for 5 says, if we go up, you didn't waste my time. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate the 5. Yeah, it's just a saying. I wasted your time. The reality is, this is going to be my 3rd cycle now on YouTube. This is really how it goes. most YouTubers get booed off the stage anyway. Even the people who are right get booed off the stage. I don't get that much blowback, I guess because I try and always say that I'm not an expert. But even from the blowback I do get, it's very little. And once the bull market comes, I mean, guys, there's already 200 people in here. This is now the 4th day in a row. By the way, I don't know. I'm not trying to be a bear here if it's a top signal or a bull run signal, but this month, just from the last couple of days, is projected to be the highest revenue for the year. So it's like, once the bull market comes, everything just goes back to normal. Nobody gives a shit anymore. It's only when we're boring and sideways that it's like toxic. But yeah, this month, which literally 4 days ago it was going to be a bad month. Now that we're pumping, August is going to be the best month of the year for revenue. So it's like, once the bull market comes, people don't really get as toxic. It's kind of just like, I mean, there's always people that are toxic, but those people are always toxic because their lives are not good. When my life isn't going good, I try not to say anything, and I just try and fix it. But I appreciate the 5 and I appreciate the words. It doesn't bother me on YouTube if I'm wrong. It bothers me for myself because I follow what I'm trying to do, you know? So when I say I let you down, like, some people might have wanted to get in at lower prices and they didn't. What year are we in? Oh, January was the best month. But at this rate, we're going to pass January. I don't know. Is it a coincidence that January was the best month? That was here. No, it was also when some people didn't know if we were bullish or not. So I mean, if my channel revenue is about to go up only from here, I'm not going to complain about that. Why would I want to make less money on YouTube? I love the bull market. I want to make sure I'm 100% like I can't get in and then we go straight down. That's why I'm waiting for one more push. I'm not going to get in after one more push, but I'm going to start telling myself, okay, you got to do something. Now, the only way that doesn't happen is if Vegeta is right. And I have to be honest, because if the bottom is confirmed to be in, I really don't have the means to say that Vegeta is wrong. Because there's no reason why the bottom should be in here. The momentum says it should be in. But the momentum said the top should be here too. And I'm telling you, there was no reason for us to come up here. But we went up anyway. I'm telling you, I checked. You had the bearish divergence, you had the MACD bearish, stock RSI bearish, and we still went up again anyway. And we bottomed at the same moving average we're at right now, and the same super trend. So in my head, I'm saying to myself, man, is it still possible that this is a bear market rally? It doesn't feel like it because of how fast we went up. But we went down. Did we go down the same? No, this one was only 15%. This one was much larger. I'm thinking to myself, could we just be here, but it's upside down? I'm not saying I'm going to be right. I think there's still a chance. Because we got the bearish divergence. Like, let me actually check instead of running my mouth. Yeah, right? We had the bearish divergence. Here's the bullish divergence. You hit the you hit this, you hit this. You're hitting the same moving average. If we go to the monthly chart, You had the bearish divergence. Bullish divergence. We had the red dot again calling for the crash, which was present. You know, remember we were talking about this? 2 red dots. Every time there's a bear market, there's 2 red dots. The momentum said it was time for a bear market. But then we went up again for no reason at all. Stock RSI, monster bearish divergence, just like, well, this one was an extreme. So I say to myself, I don't know why we went up over here other than the 4-year cycle. So could it be, I don't know why we went down, but because of the 4-year cycle? Maybe it's cope. I'm not pushing it on you. But we even broke the moving average twice. You know, normally when you break this moving average, it's time to say it's a bear market. Here we broke it 2 times. So for me, I can't say 4-year cycle once we go any higher than this. So if it's not a 4-year cycle, then what is it? Is it a momentum driven cycle? Is it a 4-year cycle that's just bottom was early? Is Vegeta right where it's not anything, it's just a correction? It's unknown. The reality is it's unknown, because I truly have to ask the question, what does Bitcoin do from here? We just had the smallest bear market in history. So does that mean that the following bear market will be smaller or larger? We're breaking history, which means there's really, you're kind of going in blind, which is which is what it is. I mean, that's what it always is. But the 4-year cycle at least gave us the idea, okay, bottoms in Q4. Like, even though this wasn't the top, we knew the top would be somewhere in Q4. We just didn't know what month it was going to be. That's why I was not able to call the top. I didn't attempt to, but we said, okay, since this wasn't the top, it has to be here somewhere. But the same reason why this was the top, this is the bottom. It's the momentum. All the on-chain indicators said that this was the top. The Nupal, this, that, the other thing. The coins in profit, blah, blah, blah. That's why I'm wondering, is it still possible? Is it still possible that the bear market lives on? Not looking too good right now, I'll admit. It's not looking too hot. And I'm not feeling good. Then you can look at the bull argument and say, well, bullish engulfing candle on the 2-month. Bullish engulfing candle on the 2-month. This one you had a skip candle. Bullish engulfing candle on the 2-month. So I'm not sitting here looking for reasons to be bearish. I think that's what some people might think and some people might do. I'm looking for every reason to turn bullish, and this is the missing piece. Then I could finally stop looking for lower prices. So yeah, I don't even know why I went on that ramble. I think it's because you said you didn't let me down, or whatever I said. You didn't waste my time. I mean, listen, to be fair, if somebody gives you all this analysis and says it's going to play out and then it doesn't play out, they kind of did waste your time. If you enjoyed your stay, that's one thing. But, which, to be fair, I guess in my defense too, I don't watch people that I don't like. That's why I don't understand why people watch someone if they don't like them. Like, if I don't like someone, which doesn't exist, but there's definitely people that I think that they're just talking rubbish, but I don't know their names because I don't watch them. Like, if I click on their channel and they just start talking rubbish, I click off the channel and I never come back. Like, there's people that actually wake up And they log on saying, what did this guy say today? What did this guy say today? Oh, it's too funny, man. But that's just how it is. BMAL for 2 says XRP Doge comparison, Bitcoin still dumped in 2022. Yeah, I'm gonna be dead honest with you. My gut tells me not to do anything. I still think this is coming. So the XRP and Doge comparison, Bitcoin still dumped. Yeah, it dumped in 2018 and 2022. It's just looking at it realistically from what we've seen, because we've all been here for long enough now, right? I'm no more experienced, or I'm not a professional, but I'm no more experienced than any of you, right? We've all been staring at the same garbage for the last however many years. It's very, 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 very rare that you just go right up and then come right back down. It's just very rare. Even this took 3 months. It was April to June. So for me to come here telling you this is guaranteed, it's not really. Again, there's evidence of it, but I don't want to grasp for a reason to be bearish. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not coming on here saying, oh, well, how can I make this bearish? Once we're I almost said it. Once we're fully bullish, I don't want to be bearish anymore. I'm just looking for a reason, like, can the 4-year cycle still be alive? Just so I don't buy in and then it goes like this. Because not only do I lose all my money, I have no money to buy in down here. And if we come down here, we're not going like this. We're going to stay down here, and the sentiment is going to decompose, as some people said it decomposed here. For my YouTube channel, it really wasn't that bad. You guys, like, I'm looking at it from that perspective too. This YouTube bear market, I mean, it wasn't as good as the bull markets, obviously. It was my least performing year for revenue, but we still had over 100 viewers. Last time, now maybe it's because it turned bearish here, and this year was, yeah, but last year was my highest grossing year. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should want the bull market because now I'm going to make more money on YouTube, but I don't want or not want the bull or the bear market. I'm trying to see what is actually happening. And there's no denying the daily RSI. I mean, this isn't even the daily RSI. The 3-day RSI doesn't come up here in bear markets. It just doesn't. So I don't want to look for a reason to be bearish, even though in 2018, XRP and Doge did cause the crash, or however you want to label it, like you're comparing XRP to Doge. Bitcoin went down again. I don't know how likely it is that we just go straight down like this. Like, it would have to look exactly like this. Now, you open up the can of worms as well, which would be, well, why does the bottom have to be in October? What if it's in November? Then this wouldn't make that much confusion, because now you have a lot of time to go down. I don't know, but luckily there's only one more piece of evidence left. So I appreciate the 2, though. It does help a lot in times of despair. Bitcoin Bajan for 5 says, can we look at Toshi? Toshi. Yeah, I'm still going to maintain the same stance as last time. I like Toshi, but we don't know what coins are going to go up and what coins aren't. you know? Toshi didn't do anything out of the ordinary, so maybe this is the low here. Is it worth a gamble? I would imagine so. That's why once Bitcoin breaks out, I'm not going to be bearish anymore. I can buy Toshi. It's lower than it was back in May. Maybe I'll join you on the Toshi wagon. I can't promise that it's going to make a new all-time high. Because last time, how many of us bought coins that never went up? Why can't that happen again? It's scary. So if we assume it's going to go back to the high, then you should be in the clear once we break 31. So you can imagine that the bottom is in once it shoots up like this. And then you'll go to the moon once you break 31. But as currently constructed, you could be right here or right here, where the next 60 days are bearish, and then it gets accumulated. So I want to just tell you Toshi to the moon, but I don't know if it's going to go back up because we don't know what coins are going to go up and what won't. So if you want to take a gamble, it's up to you. It's right at the bottom from the last 2 years. So it looks like it's not in a terrible spot if you're under the impression that the bull market started. But I can't tell you that I know it's going to come up here. We used to do that in 2024, but then we all learned the hard way that this shit doesn't always happen. So I would assume Toshi would be 23 bullish, 31 bull run. So if you want to accumulate, it's up to you. You have until 31 and then it should go straight up. But I appreciate the 5. You ask why watch people you don't like? Watching people on YouTube constantly has been a way of figuring out what wasn't going to happen, added as an edge on top of the main technique. Yeah, but why? I get what you're saying, but why? Go out of your way to comment on every single video? You know? If I watch certain YouTubers and I look at their comments, it's the same. It's the same. I mean, I don't know if it's the same person, but they comment all the time because you can click on the like if when you're on your phone, it lets you see how many comments the person has, and they just comment on every single video. So I get what you're saying. You watch someone to say, all right, well, this guy thinks this is going to happen, so it's not happening. And then you go about your day. But to sit there in a diaper and comment on every single video, because you got to know that it's not just one YouTuber, it's every YouTuber. Like if you scroll through Ben Cohen's comments, there's people saying that he's always wrong. Even though he was like the only guy that said no old season. But nobody cares. And that's why I love YouTube and that's why I hate YouTube. Because I could be wrong every single time and the next bull run, nobody cares. Ben Cohen was the only guy outside of, I mean, I'm sure there were other people, but most of us were saying old season. He was the biggest YouTuber that said no old season. And he got it right. And now if the bottom is in, nobody cares. They just tell him you're a fucking idiot. That's just how YouTube is. That's just YouTube. So if the bottom is truly in, I'll probably be fucked for like a couple months. But then I'm gonna get unfucked because I can make a bullish game plan. My channel revenue is gonna triple, and I'll be on my way. Now, if Vegeta's right and it's a 2-month bull run, then I'm kind of fucked either way. But I could still milk it because, dude, my YouTube channel, this was a historic run. My channel revenue was a historic run. So if we're about to go on that run, I wish, right? My YouTube channel, I made basically the most money in this 6-month period out of anything. So if that's where we are, I'm with it. But it's all right. Now that I'm talking to myself, I'm like, you know what, dude? I'll be all right. Because it's true. But the problem is though, when we were here, it was booming for like 2 months and then everybody left again. I don't know. I wasn't on YouTube back here. I wasn't on YouTube back here either. When we were down here, it was, I don't know, my channel was just forming. I feel like this market cycle, I'm more established. Like, even though I had 40,000 subs down here, it was a bunch of like random coins. Now, dude, now I'm getting like excited. Top is in. I'm not excited for crypto. I'm excited from the YouTube aspect of it. Because you know, it's a unique opportunity to be on YouTube and get money like that. Even if people don't send super chats, there's just the ad revenue. The ad revenue gets pretty wild when we're bullish. The ad revenue's been terrible for the last year and a half almost. But you know, if this is how it's gonna go for me, I'm gonna have to stick to my backup plan where I just sell Doge Hopium and buy stocks. Not financial advice. But you guys like that. You guys like that Doge Hopium, right? I gotta patent this before somebody else finds it. This is patent. If you ever see this chart anywhere, it's patented by Fat Boy. I gotta put the Fat Boy stamp on it. Somebody take a screenshot. Fat Boy stamp. You made a high here. Made a high here. Lower high, bear market. Lower high, bear market. Came back to the trend line. Came back to the trend line. The Doge is going to go sideways for like a couple more months and then straight up to the top. Yeah. We got Arrow, or Chris for 2 says Arrow. I appreciate the 2. I appreciate the 2 from Mr. Arrow. Arrow Smith. Aerodrome of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. Yeah, I was looking at Aerodrome actually this morning, if I'm going to be honest. I was thinking to myself, a 5K would either be 2K or 40K. Aerodrome's not bad. Now you guys are convincing me to buy shitcoins again. I told myself I wasn't going to. But I kind of like that risk reward, right? 5K would be 3K if the bottom's not in. But it could be 30K or 50K. Aerodrome is the Uniswap of base chain, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so maybe when we get the pullback, maybe I will get some, maybe I'll scoop some of this. And if there's no pullback, then I'm never gonna get in. Yeah, the Dimsdale Dimmadome, the Aerodrome. That's a 382 retracement, so if you want to FOMO in, it's very risky. I would say if you're not in, you're not in. But once you break through 61, it should just send. However, beware of the retracement. But Bitcoin made a lower low and this made a higher low. So even if we get the retracement, you might just come back to like 37 and then it might go. So I would say you could remain bullish above 45, but a breakback below 45 would be very bearish. And there's no bull run until it gets over 61. But getting over 61 would really set you up for a bull market. Now, we want to assume that the coins are going to go up forever, but they don't always go up. So be prepared for a 618 retracement or a 786 retracement. Now, clearing 14.6 really opens up the door for $4 to $5. Now, we didn't get alt season last time. It was a fake one. If we ever get a real alt season, that's where you see the $8, like Uniswap. But we never got that last time. So that's why I asked the question to people who are bullish, are you looking for a traditional market cycle just with an early bottom, or are you looking for a super cycle? Because if it's your traditional bull run, the dominance is going to rally higher from here because that's what always happens. When you get the initial run, well, technically back here, I don't think you did. Yeah, you did. The initial thrust, the dominance goes up, which the dominance hasn't gone up yet. But in every bull market, the dominance goes up first, and then you get alt season. So you're not going to get this. Where'd my coin go? You're not going to get the $10 aerodrome unless we actually do get alt season. Like, there's fake alt season, and then there's alt season. Like, there's alt season right now that people are probably calling for, which is like a pump off the low. And then there's real alt season where it's like you just put in $1,000 and you walk out with 50K. That, even if the bottom is in, I don't think we're there. That's going to be a little bit longer down the line. That's where I don't want to miss. I'm okay with missing the low. I can't miss this. Because that's my ticket out of here. Right? I have no issue being honest, as you guys know. I was here for the bottom. I didn't get shit. But when this came and this came, I was like, yeah, bitch. Yeah, beach. I was here for the bottom here. I didn't get shit. But then when this came, I was like, yeah, beach. So once again, I'm here for the bottom. If that's the bottom, I still think there's a chance we go down. I missed it. If I missed it, oh well. I can't miss this. Beach. So I can't promise you that these coins are going to run because they might just get an initial bump. Even Solana. Like, oh my God, I missed the bottom. So you bought here and then it did nothing for 10 months, actually. So you just got to be careful. I'm not saying you have to listen to me because obviously if the bottom is in, then I'm the last guy to listen to. But just from what I've seen, I think people might be overly bullish. Not as in it's not a bull market, but even when the bull market comes, sometimes this garbage doesn't even go up. Like BNB, for example, you got the initial thrust, and then it went back down to the low again. In 2018, you had the monster rally, but then it came back down to the low again. So why can't it be that we get the initial rally? Let's assume the bottom is in. Everybody's like, holy shit, I missed the bottom. And then it comes down again. And then you get the big run. I'm not saying it has to happen. It's just, it's something to look into if you're considering about FOMOing in. But I appreciate the two. We're going to make it for two, says Jotcha. There's a dog coin every cycle. Jotcha. Jotcha, bitch. Doesn't even exist. Oh, Joshua. Yeah, see, these days are over for me. I'm not going anywhere near this. You're getting hit at the 618 retracement. So if you're in, you're in. If you're not in, I would wait for a breakout or a pullback. This is where the sellers are. So the pullback would send you down to the 382, which is 24, 23.48 rather. As long as you're above 23.48, we can say bullish. A break below 23.48, top is in. The next stop would be 73. I appreciate the 2. Is the guy that's talking about, I'm not going to say that there's too many people in here now, so we can't talk about it anymore. But somebody said there's an event at the end of the month. I actually looked it up, and it's like a fake one, but it's there, so we'll see what happens. So I think Ribbit is bullish for Oliver. There's a new Ribbit and there's our Ribbit. This was our Ribbit from 2023. I don't know which one you're talking about. Are you talking about this Ribbit? Again, I'm going to be honest with you. I will struggle to tell you if these coins are going to go up because every time we say, oh, it might go up, it comes right back down. Like, not even just me, it's just anyone in general. We think the coin bottomed and then it just comes right back down again. Even in the bull market. Oh my God, it's going to the moon. Oh my God, it's going to the moon. Oh my God, it's going to the moon. Like, it just never went anywhere. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to go back up. But just like anything, I would say once you get over 11, that should be it. And it is going to go back up once you break 24. So it's up to you if you want to take a gamble or not. But I would say 11 and a rejection is still bearish. But I would also argue over 24 is a bull run. But I appreciate the 2. Solana might have a third cycle curse like ETH last cycle. Yeah, I've seen people talk about that before. But that's my point, man. Like, it's too sketchy. It's very sketchy. One of the earnings is on here. Yeah, wait a second. It looks like Nvidia earnings is been bullish the last. So the earnings were bearish here. I mean, it's 50-50 though. It's like this one was bullish, this one was bullish. This one was a bullish too. Yeah, maybe the earnings is what sends us to the moon. Yeah, Michael, but I don't know if I could do it again. I don't know if I have it in me to do it again. But I think the Moon Boy case would be that Ethereum didn't go up last time. So now it's gonna go up. So then you say the same thing about Dogecoin, baby. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'll be all right. If the bottom is truly in, it'll probably suck for like 3 months at least. It usually takes about 2 to 3 months to get over shit. So how do we feel about this? How do we feel about this RSI on the tether dominance? It's all the way on the floor. It's actually almost the lowest it's been ever. The last time was December of 2016 and October of 2015. Oh, it went up both times after that. Oh shit. This was the beginning of the bull market. Yeah, so maybe the beginning of the bull market here. We'll find out soon. We shall find out soon. Petro King says, I'm high off the hopium. The bears are wrong and have always been wrong. Yes, the bears have always been wrong. We do have a green dot. The oversold RSI. Yeah, we have overbought RSI with the red dot. I wonder, is there one more trick up the sleeve? Or is that it? Doesn't want to seem to pull back. We got to be developing something on the Bollinger Bands. No? Nothing? Oh yeah, we already looked. There is nothing. I could have sworn this morning I saw... I really could have sworn I saw something. Yeah, why is Bitcoin moving and total's not? I mean, it's very minuscule, but yeah, it is. Good try. Always next cycle come back. Traffic cone incoming. It's the only bear shot there is. Once we blow through the ceiling, there's no more bear market. It's over. The fact there are 200 viewers tell me they completely missed the boat. No, most of the time when there's a lot of viewers, it's bullish. That means everybody's in. Ooh, I wonder, is there... Oh, 60% still says bull trap. Wow. I see what you're saying. Why are there so many bulls typing? How come the bulls always type and the bears never say anything? Is that... It's always been that way. It's so they don't know, so they remain anonymous, and I have to get all the heat. I have to get all the flack. That's all right. Oh, is there a possibility of a traffic cone? We did say the other day, this is our only chance, man. The traffic cone pattern. I would have to watch the doo-doo coins to make an inference. Are there any shit coins making the traffic cone? Not yet. Not yet. That one coin went even higher. NPCs just left the station, man. See, when I see this, it makes me think, dude, how is that bullish? Yeah, wait a second. MOG, isn't MOG like one of the top coins? Wait, hold on a second. Backtrack. Wow, see, I had that shit way down here, man. Son of a bitch. Yeah, but do we think this is gonna really come back? It's still a 30x. I wish it wasn't over, but the Bulls are doing too much. They won't let it come down. Not necessarily. Now, I'm not a technical guy. I'm not a TA guy, so you're really gonna have to ask your YouTuber that's a TA guy, but we are still making a lower high, which is cope. I get it. But according to the Stock RSI handbook, every single time Bitcoins make a lower high with the Stock RSI making an overbought, it makes another low. Stock RSI handbook. We made a high here. We took the high from the last time we made a high, and it was a bull market. That was true all the way up. And the first time that you didn't make a new high was this. And it was bearish. Then you did it again, bearish. We're overbought right now, and we didn't take the high yet. Now, of course, by the end of the week, if we're up here, then there's no more reason to be bearish. There's no reason at all, which when everybody turns bullish, that's where the correction is. So I know that. That's why I'm not going to get in. I'm just going to let it pull back. Now, if Vegeta's right and there is no pullback, then so be it. I won't get in. You guys can laugh at me. But I'm not going to care because there's going to be 400 people in here and I'm going to get the money that way. Or we go to the bear market prior, which again, you made a lower high from the last time and it was bearish. You made a lower high from the last time it was overbought. It was bearish. You made a lower high, right? This one was a higher high. It was bullish. If we go back to 2018, every time we made a high off of an overbought RSI, it was bearish. Stock RSI, sorry. 2017, every time you hit overbought and you hit overbought again, you made a higher high. It was bullish. So in the Stock RSI handbook written by me, no, I'm just kidding. See here, you're in a little bit of a pickle because you even made a higher high and you still came back down. But the market cycle bottom is regarded as this one, not this one. I'm not going to tell you this is where we are and we're about to go straight down because I don't have any evidence to back that up. But here it is again. You made a high. You made a lower high on the 5-day RSI being overbought. You went down. You made a lower high on the 5-day stock RSI hitting overbought. You went down. Same thing in the bull market. You made an overbought RSI. I'm saying RSI because it's easier. You made a higher high again. Higher high. Now this one, you made a lower high, but you never hit oversold. So, can we pull back and not go to oversold? Yes, that means it's not a bear market anymore. That's why just because we're stuck doesn't mean it's a bear market. We have to get stuck and then go down. If we get stuck, pull back, and then go back up, That's not a bear market. We must go straight down. We have to come back down to the low if the bear market is going to continue, because there's no more time left, especially on the weekly time frame. Now you're getting the same mumbo jumbo. It's overbought again. Every time you hit overbought, you make another high. When you don't do that, it's bearish. So the fact that we're hitting the super trend, we're hitting the moving average, we're at extreme greed. Is it possible that we just do a V recovery to the other direction? If the 4-year cycle still exists, that's the only way out of here is that. We do nothing this week and then we go down. That's what happened in 2022. We did nothing and then we went down. And in 2018, you did nothing here, but I can't count that because that's not where we would be. This one, you just went right back down. But I don't think that's going to happen. And the only reason it's possible is because look at all the people that are long. There's $11 billion worth of longs. I'm not saying it has to happen. I'm just showing you that it's possible. Like I said before, technically I could run a marathon. It's going to take me 40 hours. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't mean we have to go to 65K. It's just a possibility. But if the bear market is not over yet, that possibility will be the certainty because it's the only way to make it happen. But it's not looking good, I can tell you that. As Mr. Bear, it's not, I don't feel good right now. It sucks. It's really shitty feeling. But that's how bull markets start, when the bears get liquidated, when they feel like shit. I just don't have, I just have a fake jolly, not jolly, but I'm able to, the show must go on. So I must put on my face mask and get the show rolling. It's tough. Tough being Mr. Bear for a little bit too long. A little bit too bearish for a little bit too long. Unless we're about to get slammed. Because I was looking at this too, which is more cope. But in every bear market, we hit the 5-day Gaussian channel midline. I thought it was going to happen up here, but it didn't. We hit the bottom and then we went down. In 2022, we hit the midline and then we went down. In 2018, we hit the midline and oh, we almost hit it. We didn't hit it. So it's like, is that where we are? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you it has to happen, but I'll tell you that it's possible as long as we don't go any higher. And if this ends up playing out, it's going to be the nastiest bull trap we've seen in years. Because this is no longer, this isn't as likely as it once was, but maybe it's a little lower. You have the stock RSI, you have the moving average, you have everything, It's possible. It's just, is it probable? And once we lose the moving average, it's no longer possible. It's fugazi. It's fairy dust. So I'm not a perma bear. Maybe I was bearish for too long, but we're at that point where there's no more. This is it, man. There's no more resistance after this. Everything else is bullish. Even if it's a small pullback and we don't go down, it's still, bottom is still in. So maybe we just pull back because everybody just got sucked in and then we go up. Jackson Hole Thursday. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that Jackson Hole could be the black swan. Again, I don't want to start looking for reasons to be bearish. The map is laid out here. We were not looking for this move, but we were looking for a move up like this sometime in August, and then we would go down. The problem is it took too long and it's too high. So I don't know how likely this still is. But I mean, if you draw it like this doesn't even look it looks like it could happen. What doesn't look possible is coming back down here so quickly. That's the hardest part. But that's what we went over a couple of days ago. The toughest part to make it bearish is to get back down here fast. Because once this happens, it's over. There's no going back. That's the hard part. And if we just don't go down and we just sit here, then it's not bearish. And the fact that this is starting to climb now, it's not, like when you start really drawing it out, it's not impossible. I know it looks impossible, but it's not impossible now because we're not over the moving average. But once we get through it, it's over. But if it's Jackson Hole, if it's whatever it is, I have no idea. But the only thing that needs to be broken is this short-term realized price. Because again, the move up that we were looking for wasn't supposed to be this violent. It was supposed to be a little bit smaller than that. But the reason for it is because you typically don't go down until the short-term holders are in profit, which now they are. And every day that we sit here, the short-term realized price is going to start creeping up. So if we go down back below this blue moving average, which is the price, is 68.5K, now you close the trap that was set up here. It was set up here. It was set even at the end of 2022. You set the trap. But it's pretty big. It's very big. It's not pretty big. It's very big. So I'm not gonna tell you guys that it's guaranteed to be a trap. I don't even know if you saw that. Yeah, okay. But that was what we were looking for. So in order for that to happen, we must go sideways for another couple of days and then start to head down. And coming back here by the middle of September, I believe we'll seal the fate, because we already discussed how it only takes 10 days to go down. It only takes 10 days to go down 30%. This one, same thing. This one was 18 days to go down 25%. So if we can just get back down here, we would still have 30 days to go down 25%. But the hard part is getting back down here. If it's a bull market, we're not going to see that happen. They're not going to push the price back down there, which is what's worrisome, is the RSI still hasn't pulled back yet, which that's both bullish and bearish. It's bullish because they're not letting the price fall because there's too many people getting in. It's bearish because we haven't seen this yet. So this may trigger the move down. if it's still a bear market. It's a lot of ifs because I don't know, but it's still possible. But once we break through this, it's no longer possible. You'd still get the correction, but the bear market is over. Because what's not possible is we break all bear market resistance, we go like this, and then somehow come all the way back down here. That's not, it's like SpongeBob. That's not happening. It looks like that green guy, Gumby or something. So I stop doing this once we get through here. I'll come on here, say you guys were right, I was wrong. It's unfortunate that I missed it and I messed it up. But I'm also telling you that if you didn't buy Bitcoin, everything else is kind of in the same spot. Ethereum is definitely up higher, but again, most people thought the bottom was already in here anyway. So instead of getting in at 23, you got in at 24. So it's almost like being bearish here got undone by being bearish here. So it cancels out. Because we were bearish here, and we were bearish here. Well, we were bullish here, but bearish overall. So the fact that we went back up kind of invalidates the second crash. That's why the fact that I turned bearish here, I'm going to save whatever credibility is left because we didn't turn bearish at the top. We turned bearish right after the top. So if I turn bullish right after the bottom, at least I can still show my face because a lot of people were bullish here, but we said, no, we're going down. A lot of people were bullish here. We said, no, we're going down. We were bullish here, but not this bullish. So it was clearly wrong. So I think once we go higher, I would stop being bearish. A little bit bearish for too long. But I'm still in the bear camp. I haven't changed teams yet. I still think there's some sketchy shit that they could pull. I gotta wait and see if we get a red dot on the daily time frame. We haven't gotten a red dot on Bitcoin on the daily time frame since the peak back here. But what I'm thinking as a bear argument would be we got severely oversold with a green dot and then we went up. So we should get a red dot severely overbought with extreme greed and then we go down. Just because we go down doesn't mean it's a bear market. We'd have to go below this, which is why I'm talking in circles. It's the same thing over and over again. We would have to go down just as fast as we went up. And if that happens, it's a big fat if, but if it happens, you just saw the biggest trap in history. Because nobody's going to sell if we come down here. They're going to just think it's a higher low. But we shouldn't come back down here if it's bullish. And the fact that we would be back down in the same spot where we were at extreme fear, now at greed. If we came back down, it would probably be just at greed. I mean, this is nuts. It hit extreme greed today, but it pulled back. You saw it in the video I made. It was there. So this is as the stream is titled. It's the bear's last stand. I'm not going to be bearish forever. We're pretty much getting to the point where it's almost time for me to start saying the bottom is not going to get taken out, but I'm not there yet. I still think there's a chance. If I end up being one of the last people to say that, it is what it is. Because like I said, man, I'll take a little bit of shit for 2 months and then everybody forgets anyway, and we just start talking about Dogecoin. Because you got to think about it. Right now, there's people that are going to be watching me that don't even have crypto right now. They're going to download Robinhood. Yo, I got to get in. They're gonna search up Dogecoin and I'm gonna pop up and they're not even gonna know who I am. There's people in the stream right now that don't even know what I look like. Think about it. That's how you know nobody gives a shit. Once Bitcoin breaks 84K, everything will go parabolic. Yeah. I could see a scenario where I think a lot of people are going to FOMO in when we break this. So we would probably break it and then come down and then go up. You know? But, it's possible. You could be right. If it's like 2019 and there's just no pullback, then yeah. Here we broke through. There was no pullback. We just went. 2023, there was a pullback. There was two pullback. I actually remember this like it was yesterday, man. Yeah, time is going by so fast. I guess it's important to swallow the pill quickly. Because before you know it, if the bottom is actually in, we'll be here before you know it. So, but we shall see. So much effort looking at crypto charts to catch bottoms and tops while stocks just keep going up. Yeah, that's why I'm probably going to switch to stocks. Some people say then now stocks are going to crash, but I'm not buying stocks now. I'm just saying I think when I finally tell myself it's not coming, which I'm waiting till the end of the year, I really think they could still pull some scam ass shit, but I'm respecting the possibility that they don't. But I don't believe that you're going to have a Bitcoin bull market with no stock market run. Could stocks pull back without Bitcoin? That has happened in 2015. But then look at the run that the stock market went on. Like you had this, and then look at this. So, which we already mentioned before, how the Bollinger Bands are saying, or at least the Bollinger Band percentile. Actually, I don't use the regular Bollinger Bands. I wonder what they look like on the stock market. Are Bollinger Bands good indicators? Like good for resistance and support? If you put it on here, oh yeah, see it doesn't work. Yeah, no, I don't use the Bollinger Bands. I like the Bollinger Band percentile. It's saying that the bull market hasn't even started yet. It's either that or there's going to be a 2008 crash, but everybody and their mother always says that and never comes. So I'm assuming there's still that chance for a small pullback. But if you go on a long enough time frame, we already said this in the beginning of the stream. This is telling me that the S&P is still in the same bull run thrust as 2023. So I think the next stock run is going to be just like the rest of them. It's going to be generational. The question is, are we going to get a pullback first or is it just going to keep going? But it hasn't started yet. Now, it is a 6-month candle, so we're going to have to wait and see how it looks in 4 months, of course. But it's never pivoted and then went down. It pivoted and then it kept going and going and going. So maybe the Bitcoin super cycle is starting. That would indicate that the stock super cycle is going to continue. But I mean, we've been going pretty high. If you look at the RSI, it's extremely high. You stayed up here in 2025 or whatever year this is, but then you had a pullback for the bull market. Are we in here? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a TA guy. But I mean, this is just unnecessary. Look at this. We're not gonna get a pullback at all? I guess not. Elliott Wave says we're in a bear market until we make a higher high. Yeah, I know more crypto online is a Elliott Wave guy. There's I don't know how to do Elliott Wave. We were looking for a similar move. I just didn't think it was gonna go that high. I thought we would stop here and then we would go down. The Elliott Wave guys had the same thing drawn, but they were using actual terms like 1 2 1 2 1 2 buckle my shoe 3 4 ABC. So we're both looking for the same thing. I'm more heavily reliant on the cycle, and if it's broken, then we don't have to go back down. The S&P can flatline while crypto shoots up. No, when I said pullback, I actually meant the S&P. I wasn't talking about Bitcoin. Like I'm saying even in 2015, the S&P pulled back as Bitcoin went up right here. So if we're in here and it pulls back, that's fine because Bitcoin went up in this time. See? So the S&P can pull back, but like it has to do something. What I'm saying is where is the pullback? This little shit. Come here, you little shit. This pullback on the NASDAQ is the same size as the one we had before. So maybe if it is a bull market for the Moon Boys, this thing is just going to get coiled up and then go even higher. That's why. It's like, why bother buying coins that might go down 80% if you miss them? I mean, of course, you're getting better returns on crypto, but if you don't sell, you're going to lose. With this, you don't have to sell. But you don't buy this, you buy whatever you're going to buy, right? Yeah, now I'm starting to think like, dude, what if the bear market for Bitcoin is over, then this doesn't have to come down here. The only reason why we were looking for it is because in the 4-year cycle, it always happens. But if the 4-year cycle's broken, then maybe this is the correction before we go higher. That's why I blasted off, because everyone was shorting at the 20-day moving average, expecting a pullback till October. Yeah, but there's always a reason. If it's truly a bull market, it was going to happen anyway. It just happened a lot faster because of the squeeze. If it's a bear market, we're going to go back down just as fast. That's why the question is it a bull market or is it a bear market? I'm not disrespecting the bearish invalidities because I want to be bullish as soon as I can. I don't want to stay bearish while the markets rip higher. But now that I'm thinking about it, the only reason why the S&P would go down is because of the Bitcoin bear market. But if Bitcoin's not in a bear market, then why does the S&P have to go down? It doesn't. And then you look at the AI stocks and it's like they did just pull back 70%. So we're waiting for something like this, but what if we're here and it's just gonna run forever? I would be sick to my stomach, man. This thing was $8. So we're at that time though where, you can't be bearish forever. I know I may be overly bearish, and I know you guys told me people said I was overly bearish. Maybe I am. But I already was, so I'm not going to turn bullish here just for it to go like this. I'm going to wait, eat shit. I already ate shit. It sucks. Tastes like shit. And once we blow through this, I can tell myself that was it. And we pull back, and then I get in whatever I'm going to get in. Did I miss the bottom? Yes. Did I get wiped? Not wiped out, but I could still get out of here with the rest of you. Because like we discussed, you go up and then you come back down, and that is where the money is made. You come up, you come back down, and that is where the money is made. You come up, come back down, that's where the money is made. Just because you caught the absolute bottom doesn't mean you're going to beat everyone else. Which is not a competition, but right now there's some guy that's not even eligible for a Coinbase account, but in 2 years he'll be 19, he'll sign up, he'll buy the next bonk and get a 200x while you're sitting here clicking buttons, which is what happened to me, right? We were clicking buttons and some schmuck just bought Dog Whiff Hat and made all the money, and I'm like, dude, where's my 100x? Wow, this coin didn't even go down from the... This coin literally didn't even move. Wow, yeah, this was the weirdest bear market in history, man. This coin was the same price last year. There were 2 broccolis. Oh, this one. Yeah, see, this one got decimated. Whatever happened to Bonk, actually? Oh, Bonk is in the shitter. Yeah, so what's the move? People are going onto the Robinhood chain. So what do? I load up an Ethereum wallet and then I send it to where? I load up an Ethereum wallet and I send it to MetaMask using what? Robinhood swap? Hashcat. Hashcat. How do I use cash? How do I use Robinhood? Look up Quiff. Oh yeah, I forgot about Pump Fund. Did you see Pump Fund had a nasty move? It just undid the whole bear market in not even a month. Yeah, I'm ready. Once I see the trigger, I'm going in. Better somebody cover me. I'm going in. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait just a little longer. See if we get rejected here. See if we could get rejected here. Every time crypto goes up, the semiconductor goes down. And that's a lie, my friend. You're suffering from recency bias, which is fine. I am too, because I'm a burned bear. But they go up together. There's that. A lot of people think the semiconductors aren't going to run. I think they're going to be shocked. The only time they didn't run was here. And now they just ran when Bitcoin went down. But they're leaving out the fact that Bitcoin went up and they went down. But throughout history, they usually run together, which is why they just went through a gnarly correction. So if Bitcoin started a bull market, that means that the S&P doesn't have to have a correction, which may suggest the semiconductors may be coming back to life soon. I don't know if the stock market's going to have a correction. The reason why we wanted one was because the 4-year cycle said it usually happens. But if the 4-year cycle is broken, then the S&P doesn't have to have a correction. And if it doesn't have to have a correction, then if you look at SPY and you look at the semiconductors, they pump together, with the exception of last January, whatever the summer was. But it doesn't matter because when they crashed, the S&P crashed. So if the S&P is not going to crash, the semiconductors, they're not going to just go sideways. That never happens. That happened when all of you guys were in diapers and I had a full head of hair and a high voice. So I've seen people saying the semis are dead. I wouldn't say that so quickly. Maybe I'm wrong again, wrong about everything, but no, I'm just kidding. But I think I need to readjust my brain because I can't fathom how people would pay for Nvidia when the market cap is 5 trillion. Like, where's the pullback? Every market cycle you get bear market, Bitcoin capitulation, right? Bitcoin capitulated right here when Nvidia crashed and then Bitcoin crashed. Nvidia never crashed. It's been floating around like this. Maybe it doesn't crash. And that's what I'm starting to realize, like, why does the stock market have to go down if Bitcoin is not going down? It doesn't. The only reason why the S&P was supposed to go down was because Bitcoin was supposed to go down, which means if the S&P is going to go down, then Bitcoin should still go down. And if Bitcoin doesn't break this moving average in a timely manner, there is still that possibility that it does go down. Maybe it's not going to go down as low as I wanted it to. It's not that I wanted it to. I was using the on-chain data, which means if we're in a bull market, I'm never using this dumbass website again. Because all of those numbers that I came up with, they weren't numbers that I wanted. They were numbers from the historical data, which means if the historical data is broken, then this website is useless. Because anybody could have looked at the RSI and said, look, the bottom is in. But historically, when the bottom is in with this historical RSI, you're below the realized price. This is the first time that didn't happen. So if I would have just blindly got in with this, I would have been all right. Just like when we said here, we would have been all right. The problem is that's what we said. We said, look, bearish divergence, it's time to get out. But then we went up again anyway. That's why I'm still thinking maybe that's what this is. It's just upside down. And there's one more puppy left. But I really don't have any evidence of that because everything just broke. The only thing left is that moving average. But once it breaks, I can say, all right, thanks for missing the bottom. Now we can start shilling Doge to $10. This is my Doge chart. I'm gonna start selling it soon. Step right up, Pigman, $1.50. And to be fair to Mr. Bear, who's always wrong, we did call for 5 cents all the way back at like 17 cents. So it wasn't a total waste. You know, it's still down 50%, which isn't that much, but we just missed it at 6.7. But that's not acceptable. It's unacceptable. So if the bull market has truly started, I'm going back to being a shiller. If the bull market hasn't started and there's still one more flush, it's not looking too good though, I'll tell you that, man. It's not looking too probable. Looking like it's going to just sit here. It was a good try. Oh, Gemini sold off today too. Forgot to tell you. So Gemini and Coinbase both, I mean, I don't know if they sold off, but they both had little pullbacks. Let's see what happens, man. This cutout says MSTR should go down in the next 2 weeks. So if we go up anyway, then the bear market's over. But all right, gentlemen and the 3 ladies. It's been a pleasure. Another great stream. You guys are being very nice to me. We're getting a lot of viewers. The channel revenue is booming. So if the bull market is going to start, then the bull market's going to start. Once we break that moving average, I have no reason to be bearish. So, as always, appreciate the support. Appreciate the super chats. None of this is financial advice. Stay safe. We shall return tomorrow. And take care. See you soon.